Hello everybody, my name's Haruki, and this is Castlevania Symphony of the Night, also known as Nocturne in the Moonlight in Japan. This is the very first game that I'm going to be playing for my channel. I did have another game in mind, which I'll be playing next, but I wanted to get a shorter game that I didn't really have to think too much about, because I know it so well, while I get the kinks worked out, shall we say, with like the early installment weirdness. I just want to be able to bring a more consistent product right off the bat. I don't want to be one of these content creators that just struggles. I want the only thing that gets me to have a lower quality is my actual equipment. I'm going to try not to ramble so much, but this is just a good old PlayStation 1 cutscene, so it's cool. Now, I should point out that this is not the original PlayStation 1 version of this game. This is on the Castlevania Requiem set for PlayStation 4, and this particular version of Castlevania Symphony of the Night was originally an unlockable reward that you could get for beating the remake of Castlevania Rondo of Blood for PlayStation Portable. That I did not play, and I did not play this version of Symphony of the Night until this actually came out for PlayStation and all the other consoles. So right now we're controlling Richter Belmont. He's a vampire hunter, and if you've ever seen Castlevania on Netflix, he is the, well, I think he's like 6 generations removed from Trevor, so he's like his great-great-great-great-great-grandson or something like that.
Die now and leave this world. You'll never belong here.
Oh, but this world invited me. Your own kind called me forth with praise and tribute.
Tribute? You're a thief. You steal men's souls, their freedom.
Freedom is always sacrificed to faith, good hunter. Or are you truly here by choice?
All I'm here for is you. To hell with your heresy. You're
Heresy.
nothing but a blight on mankind.
Ha! Mankind. A cesspit of hatred and lies. Fight for them, and die for their sins.
I really like the original dialogue that they had in the English so much more. I miss it. If you know, you know. Check it out if you don't. So, Dracula, you start off fighting him right off the rip because you don't actually play as Richter in this game, if you could tell by the box art, if you've ever seen it, or the poster. This basically is a retelling of the end of the previously mentioned Rondo of Blood, although this is a much easier fight than that game. And I did actually play Rondo of Blood finally on the Requiem collection that this came with, but that game is a traditional Castlevania where it's a side-scrolling action platformer, and it is hard, and I am not good at those games at all. I did not grow up with them. And Rondo of Blood only came to the United States as a SNES port, which is arguably harder than the original PC engine, which is the TurboGrafx 16. The PC engine was what it was called in Japan. So this, well, Rondo of Blood was originally for that, and we got the port for the Super Nintendo, and that game is really hard also. All the old Castlevania games are, but at least on the NES you had infinite continues. I don't think that's true for Rondo of Blood. It might be. I don't think it's also true for Bloodlines, which is the Sega Genesis Castlevania. But it's been a while since I played it at. And I've never beaten Bloodlines, nor have I ever beaten Rondo of Blood's SNES port. That is way too hard. But this can get really boring. All you gotta do is keep jumping over the fireballs, and every 4th time he shoots like the fucking upgraded version of it. And I ended up getting some hearts so I could use Hydro Storm, which is Richter's item crash, which is the gimmick from his game. Get out of here. I don't want to use Hydro Storm again. I could just throw the holy water. That scares me every time. Uh-oh. Just die. Thank you. Can I... Ah! No, I was trying to get mid backflip. That's close enough. Anyway, so that's just the prologue. And now we get some scrolling text here. Oh.
With the aid of the Dark Priest shaft to menace humanity once again. The legendary vampire
That's Kyle Hebert.
Belmont stood against him. And
That's literally the Dragon Ball Z narrator.
However, 4 years later, on a glaring full moon night, Richter mysteriously vanished. Maria Renard set out to find him, but knew not where to begin. It was then that fate intervened. Castlevania, the Castle of Dracula.
On the PS1 version, this doesn't have a narration. I was going to read it, so that's sad that I didn't get to.
Meanwhile, powerful forces struggled for the soul of a man named Alucard. He who had once fought alongside Trevor Belmont against his own immortal father, Count Dracula himself. To purge the world of his own cursed bloodline, Alucard had submerged his vampiric powers and fallen into what was meant to be eternal slumber. But now, he awakens to the cackles of evil.
Cackles.
Cries of the innocent. The eternal battle of good and evil has come full circle once more. Dracula's castle beckons for you. And no man can say who will emerge victorious.
Oh, I believe NSYNC had a song about that. It's gonna be me. So this game is legendary, and it just got even a little more legendary with Kyle Hebert, I guess, stealing my thunder. But now we get to play as our boy, our best boy, Alucard. If you've ever watched the Castlevania Netflix show, you'll know him. And that's one of the reasons why I played this, because he's a badass, even on this game, and he can backdash. And that's what I like to do. So, in the opening part, there really isn't much to do, because there aren't any real item... Ooh, I didn't even see him there. There aren't any real item drops. You have to get an item, ironically, a relic, to make items start appearing. Enemies can drop items, and there's just a pot roast in there for reasons. And if you go down here, there's Merman. That's always fun. So what makes this Castlevania game different is that it's not a side-scrolling action platformer. It is a side-scrolling action RPG. And our boy Alucard has a status screen, and he starts out with some OP equipment. I wonder what's going to happen to that. This is not my first time playing, obviously, and I don't think that on my channel I would ever really do a live stream of a game, of a blind playthrough, just because of... Oh, cutscene.
Alucard, what is your business here?
I've come to put an end to this.
Ever the insolent...
Uchiha
There'll
Sasuke.
be no games here. If you will not behave, be gone.
I will do neither. Step aside, old man.
The future is now, old man.
Well, but I shall see you very soon.
Oh no. Way to make it a real RPG. Fisticuffs. Okay, so basically they let you have a power fantasy at the beginning of this game and then take it away because they're dicks. But I need some hearts. So in Castlevania, if you didn't know, which is very likely, hearts are not health, they are sub-weapon ammo. And that item that I just got is a heart max up, which means it increases the amount of hearts that I can hold, which is indicated under my mana bar. Also, speaking of mana, Alucard has spells, and he can do cool stuff like summon a ghost. And now I have a sword. And now, also, if I use a spell, it'll mark it in my spells move list. I do know most of them by heart, but it's been such a long time that I actually played this game that I'm really not familiar with every single one of them. I always get confused when it comes to the upgraded version of that ghost thing. This is that item I was talking about. Like, there's 4 of them. It's Tetris Spirits. I forget, like, I think you just hold up, and then I might not have enough mana. Or wait. Nope. Screw it. Anyway, you can buy the spells, like, from the librarian. He doesn't give you the spell, but he teaches you how to use it. And then you can look at that document and then go do it, and then it'll put it permanently on your thing. Or you can just memorize them and then do the thing. Red skeletons, they always, like, get back up. I think they're technically called blood skeletons. I'm gonna have to get my thingy-majigger, the monster tome or whatever, because I won't know what an enemy's called until then. This is the alchemy laboratory, and it is one of the best, like, visually appealing areas, I think, with the statues, and the parallax scrolling in this area is really nice. I like it a lot. But I don't know how I feel about the music. I mean, I do like it, but I've had to hear this so much. Castlevania is known for secrets, and there's a couple right here. Firstly, there is a breakable floor, and this is a life max up, which is the opposite to the heart max up, which increases my maximum health. And so when I get a sub weapon, I'll talk more about it. And then there's another breakable wall here. Another heart max up. Now there was definitely another life up. Oh, speaking of sub-weapons, here's a dagger. It is the worst sub-weapon, although depending on how you feel about the stopwatch, that could be your worst. It is the weakest. Oh, and shields, they will block projectiles like fireballs and like skeleton bones that they throw. And here's this dagger. So that's always cool. But it does a very minuscule amount. The dagger is thrown completely straight and does cutting damage. And then there is the axe. The axe travels in an arc and also does cutting damage. The holy water, which I talked about earlier during the fight with Dracula, it actually works differently for Alucard than it does for Richter. See, in the beginning of the game, Richter throws the holy water, and it is the traditional, what you think of holy water, like blue, and it travels forward along the floor. However, Alucard, when he throws the holy water, it's actually green, and it stays in one place. But the good part about that is you can throw a whole bunch of them in one spot, and then, like, that's a lot of active frames of damage. And speaking of the axe, we are going to go, because this is our technical first boss fight of the game, Slagra and Gaibon. These two were actually bosses on Super Castlevania 4, which was the game previous to this one. So that's a nice little oh, well, I guess there was Rondo of Blood, but that didn't come out in the United States in its true form. And I'm trying to remember, I never beat it, so I don't have the knowledge to confirm or deny if they were actually bosses in that game as well, or if they just made a return from Super Castlevania 4. Oh, you fucker. See, he's just a douchebag that stands there and throws fireballs, or spits fireballs. But he gets in a big old line. When he lands, he starts shooting these big-ass motherfuckers. And you can just get his knees. Biatch. So what I like to do with Alucard is pose. Every boss drops a life max up, so that's neat. Well, every boss up until a certain point will. There are special bosses in the game, but we'll get to that when we get to that. I'm really at a loss because I don't know what to do. Normally, I take the long path and go back down and go to the secret room and get the Basilard. Oh, yeah, that'll actually allow me to show off the rebound stone, so that's nice. Oh, I guess not. That's on the upper path. I'm stupid. So, this is a hidden path that you can take, well, I don't know if it's a hidden path because it literally was just right there, but, this is like a Dark Souls shortcut, basically. You see, I am taking an elevator down to where... Oh, I was fighting those bosses without putting on armor. That's hilarious. Okay, where was I? Oh, yes, elevator. So, you take this elevator down, and before, if you were somehow able to get an axe and then just dick off and, like, hit the red skeleton with the axe to where it collapses on the button while you're on the elevator, and you got up here, you would be blocked by this wall. But since you came from the back way, you can shoot the cannon and bust the wall. And that loops back down to the alchemy laboratory from whence forth I already came. And now I can go back up this elevator and go proceed on with my quest. I do this a lot when I play this game. There's a lot of backtracking, but I just can't wait to do things in a certain order. Like, I get really ADHD about stuff, and I just have to do certain things now. Or else, like, I don't know. I don't always play video games the same way, but certain games I have to do certain things in, or else it just feels like completely alien to me. Like, I shouldn't be... this first save always does that weird, goofy stuff. But, if there's, like, I could never play Mass Effect and be an evil character. I played, literally, Knights of the Old Republic once, where I was a Dark Jedi, and I just couldn't do it. Most of the time, I'm either, like, a super goody two-shoes, or, at the very minimum, completely gray morality. I don't know what it is. Well, actually, I know what it is. It's like... Oh, so the Rebound Stone. This is another sub-weapon, which isn't in the classic Castlevania games. And it bounces off walls. And this is literally the only room that it's, like, pretty useful in, other than, like, another boss fight later. So what makes Castlevania Symphony of the Night so awesome combat-wise is that, much like Dark Souls, there is startup, active, and recovery frames. And different weapons have different speeds at which they activate and all that good stuff. However, you can also angle your attacks down and forward, unless you're, like, unarmed and you're crouched on the ground. You can technically diagonal attack when you're jumping, because you do a jump kick diagonally. But Super Castlevania 4 rather, for the Super Nintendo, had the whatchamacallit, 8-way attacking, and Castlevania Chronicles, which was a PlayStation port / remake of a PC 88 Castlevania game, Aw, dang it, I was hoping he would jump into it. Ooh, wrong button. I was trying to demonstrate, like, how OP holy water can be. Like, it's literally your best friend. Now, there's a cheap knockoff in the holy water called the Sacred Ash. And it can be useful for certain things, but only if you know. Okay, so this is one of them things I'm talking about. Normally, I go all the way down and reconnect just to get that life max up that I was alluding to earlier. But I don't want to do that. I want to actually take the normal quote-unquote path.
Wait, are you human? What are you doing?
Hey!
I've come to destroy this castle.
That's Fujiko.
Likewise. I'm Maria. And you are?
Alucard.
Well, if you're a better swordsman than a speaker, perhaps I'll see you again. Farewell.
Farewell. I'm trying to remember her name, because she's in everything. She's also Crimson Viper. And Rukia Kuchiki on Bleach. Fleamen are the worst. No, I take that back. The alternate versions of Fleamen, called Flea Armor, are the worst enemies in the game. I hate them so badly. Rebound Stone, nope. I don't need to worry about that because I'm actually trying to get the stopwatch. I think I skipped it. But don't quote me. Nope, there it is, sweet. It has been a while since I played this. Now, you don't have to kill all these enemies. You can actually just avoid most of them, I guess, but where's the fun in that? You don't level up if you don't kill the enemies. And trust me, you don't need to level up a lot, but you want to, because it's funner. Alright, let's see. Another spell. I'm trying to remember. Nope. There it is. Dark Metamorphosis. If you attack an enemy and they bleed on you, Alucard will recover HP. The way to do that is, like, you start at either left or right, depending on what direction you're facing, and then you roll the directions. Like, you basically make a half circle. You start from left to right, and you end on left to right, going up. Basically, like this. If you've ever played a fighting game, this is what Alucard's spells are like. Now, there is a better version of Dark Metamorphosis. Well, I wouldn't say... Well, it's more useful because it doesn't just have to be... You don't have to bleed on them. But you need 50 MP to do that, and I don't have 50 yet. I need to level up again. And it's called Soul Steal, and in addition to doing damage to enemies and regenerating Alucard's health, it also will reveal broken walls. Well, hidden breakable walls, I should say. Words. So, a lot of these enemies in Castlevania games are really, I would say, unique. And I would say iconic in some ways. If you've ever played certain Castlevania games, there's just enemies that keep popping up. And the more they show up, the more they're either loved or hated. And I think, for better or worse, the most iconic enemy is the Medusa head, as far as regular enemies go. And it won't be too much longer before we're having to deal with those. So this is a upgraded axe armor. It's like axe armor level 2, I think it's called, in the bestiary. These specific axe armors have a chance at dropping their shield and also their armor, which is cool. If you get their armor and you wear it, you actually turn into an axe armor. So the reason why I wanted this, whatchamacallit, Basilard and the stopwatch was for this next boss fight, and you'll see what I'm talking about. There's a way you can cheese this motherfucker, and he can't do a single thing to you. Get ready for it. So you gotta fight a doppelganger of yourself, but I'm just gonna stab him to death. How about that? You just got fucking ganked by highwaymen. So I think with that, I'm going to end this first part. It's been real, y'all, and I really enjoyed making this video, and I hope that you enjoy watching it. So let me know your feedback, what I can improve on, or if I should talk about less or more things. I don't know. However, enjoy the rest of your day, and go with God's grace, my friends.